Attention passionate Green Bay Packers fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Green Bay Packers' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Green Bay Packers fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Green Bay Packers fans. Let's get to the news now, folks. If you've been paying attention to the NFL landscape lately, you know that the offseason has been anything but ordinary. It's been filled with surprises, blockbuster trades, and bold moves that are shaking up the division and impacting the entire league. And right now, the biggest story, at least for us Packers fans, is the recent trade involving none other than A.J. Brown. Yes, A.J. Brown, the star wide receiver of the Philadelphia Eagles, is being rumored to be on the move, and the team that might be bringing him in, the Green Bay Packers. That's right. The Packers are once again making headlines for their aggressive approach, and this move could be a game-changer for their offense. But let's take a step back and put all this into perspective. The Eagles, as many of you know, have had a pretty successful run with A.J. Brown since acquiring him from the Tennessee Titans. He's been a key piece in their offense, a reliable target with a combination of size, speed, and contested catch ability that makes him one of the premier receivers in the league. Yet, despite that success, the Eagles are at a crossroads. With A.J. Brown now 28 years old, and the team already boasting young talents like Devonta Smith, Jahan Dotson, and John Mechie, it's understandable that Philadelphia might be looking to get value before it's too late. The NFL is a business, and teams are always weighing the present against the future. Recently, there have been whispers and reports suggesting that the Eagles might be open to trading A.J. Brown, especially after a disappointing Week 1 performance that left some fans and analysts questioning whether he's worth the investment long-term. Colin Cowherd, for instance, pointed out that it wouldn't be shocking if Philadelphia decided to move him, given the new dynamics of their roster and the changing wide receiver market. And honestly, it makes sense. The Eagles have a solid core, but with younger players emerging, and the team's salary cap considerations, trading Brown now could be seen as a strategic move to retool and maximize their assets. Now here's where the Green Bay Packers come into the picture. After an offseason that saw them make a splash by acquiring Micah Parsons on defense. Yes, that's right, Parsons is now a Packer. The team has signaled that they're serious about competing and improving, not just in the short term but for the long haul. The Packers have shown that they're willing to do whatever it takes to strengthen their roster, and that includes making bold trades. The Micah Parsons trade was a clear message that they're not afraid to shake things up to build a championship-caliber team. And if you look at the current roster, the Packers have been pretty solid on defense, especially with Parsons bringing that pass-rushing threat that they desperately needed. But on offense, things are a bit more uncertain. Jordan Love has been doing a commendable job leading the offense, especially considering he's still relatively new as a starting quarterback and has been working with a somewhat limited group of wide receivers. Christian Watson, their primary deep threat, has been recovering from an ACL injury, and Jayden Reed recently suffered a collarbone injury, which leaves the Packers a little thin at the position right now. That's why adding a star receiver like A.J. Brown could be exactly what they need to elevate the entire offense. Imagine Jordan Love with a true contested catch threat. A.J. Brown's ability to make those tough catches in traffic could open up a whole new dimension for this offense. Not only would that give Love a reliable target on third down, but it would also help the entire passing game find a new level of consistency. Brown's presence could also serve as a mentor for the younger receivers on the team, like Jahan Dotson and John Mechie, helping them develop faster and learn how to operate at a higher level within the NFL's toughest defenses. And let's not forget the timing of this potential trade. The Packers have shown they're not afraid to be aggressive mid-season, and with the NFL trade deadline approaching, this is the perfect window for them to strike. The team's management has already demonstrated they're willing to pull the trigger on big deals, and with the recent injury setbacks at wide receiver, adding a proven star like Brown makes a lot of sense. It would be a statement that Green Bay is all in on contending right now, not just planning for the future. Now, some might wonder about the details. What would the Packers have to give up? Well, that's part of the intrigue. The Eagles are in a position where they could be looking for draft picks or young players to rebuild, especially if they're considering a full rebuild or just retooling their roster. For the Packers, they've got assets, perhaps some picks or young talent, that could entice the Eagles. And with the relationship between teams evolving, especially after the recent Micah Parsons trade, the possibility of a deal isn't out of the realm of reality. Of course, it's not just about the trade itself. It's about what it signals for the NFC North and the NFL as a whole. The Packers making this move would send a message that they're serious about competing and are willing to make bold moves to do so. It would also alter the division dynamic, with the Vikings and Lions watching closely and potentially feeling the heat if Green Bay upgrades their offense significantly. The Lions, for example, have been on the rise with Jared Goff and a talented roster, but adding a player like A.J. Brown could push the Packers ahead in the pecking order. And speaking of Goff and the Lions, they've had a bit of a roller coaster start to the season, with some impressive performances, but also concerns about consistency. Meanwhile, the Bills have skyrocketed to the top of the power rankings thanks to a thrilling victory, showing that the AFC is still a tough nut to crack. The NFC North, however, is shaping up to be one of the most competitive divisions, and the Packers making a move for A.J. Brown could be the difference maker that propels them into real playoff contention. Now, I want you to think about what this would mean for Jordan Love. We've seen flashes of brilliance, but having a receiver like Brown, someone who can win contested catches and create yards after the catch, would elevate Love's game. It would give him a reliable, game-changing weapon on the outside, especially in critical moments. Having a true star receiver could also boost the confidence of the entire offense, allowing the team to open up the playbook more freely and take more shots downfield. Plus, Brown's veteran presence and experience in big games could help develop the younger receivers, creating a more cohesive and dangerous unit. From a strategic standpoint, this trade would also demonstrate the Packers' commitment to winning now. It's a statement move, not just a move for the future, but one that signals they're ready to compete at the highest level this season. The NFC North is wide open, and with the Vikings and Lions both performing well, the Packers need to answer back with boldness. Acquiring A.J. Brown could be just the spark they need to turn their season around and make a serious playoff push. And let's not forget, this isn't just about talent, it's about identity. The Packers have historically been a team that builds through the draft, but in recent years, they've shown they're willing to be aggressive in trades when the opportunity arises. The Micah Parsons deal was proof of that, and acquiring A.J. Brown would be another example of their willingness to go all in. It's about shaping a team that can compete with the best in the league, and adding a player of Brown's caliber would definitely help in that regard. Now, I know some of you might be wondering about the risks involved. Trading for a star player always comes with questions about salary cap implications, locker room chemistry, and how quickly the new player can adapt. But if there's one thing we've learned from the Packers over the years, it's that they're smart and strategic. They won't make a move like this unless they believe it's the right step toward a Super Bowl run. And with the team's current trajectory, adding a player like A.J. Brown could be the missing piece that puts them over the top. So in summary, the potential trade of A.J. Brown to the Green Bay Packers is more than just a rumor. It's a sign of a team that's hungry, willing to take risks, and eager to contend. It's a move that could reshape the division and change the course of their season. Imagine the impact it would have on Jordan Love, the offense, and the overall team chemistry. It's exactly the kind of bold move that could define the 2025 NFL season for the Packers. And for us fans, it's an exciting prospect to think about. The division, the conference, and the entire league could be in for a shakeup, and we'll be here to cover every step of it. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Green Bay Packers news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, Green Bay Packers fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this possible A.J. Brown trade? Do you think the Packers should pull the trigger? Would it be the move that takes them back to Super Bowl contention? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Green Bay Packers. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Green Bay Packers news. We're in an exciting time in Packers history, and whatever happens next, you can be sure we'll be here to analyze, discuss, and celebrate. Thanks for being part of this journey, and as always, go Pack Go.